Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing a trying new makeup video. I have recently hauled like a bunch of stuff. I don't have a full face, but I have close. I have a lot of stuff that I really wanted to try and I figured I would just do it with you guys. So just some highlights of what we're going to be trying out today. The Lilah Be Aglow Priming Oil. I was very interested in this and I got a lot of comments from you guys that you were interested in this as well. So we're going to be trying that out. I also have the Dominique Cosmetics Latte 2 eyeshadow palette. I also have the 2 lip glosses that came out with that collection. So we can do like a little lip swatching situation at the end of the video. I also got something from Pkwy Beauty. They are a clean beauty brand and I'm going to be trying their highlighter today. I have a new NARS blush in the color Thrill. This is one of the newer blush colors from NARS. And then I also wanted to use one of my favorite pressed powders of all time. It was limited edition and they finally brought it back. It is the Kogan Do Brightening Moisture Powder. It is this powder right here. And since it's being re-released, I thought I would do it in this new makeup video. I'm trying to find out if this is limited edition. When I find out, I'll put it down below in my description box. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the Lilah Be Aglow Priming Oil. I'm really excited to try this. I'm also a little bit nervous because I don't usually use primers that are oily, I guess. You know, most of the primers that I use are very lotiony. So I am very curious about this. I'm just going to pump some out into the palm of my hand. And it definitely has like an oil consistency. It is running down my hand. So I'm just gonna start with one pump and put that all over. Oh, it has a very strong lavender scent. If you are not into lavender, you are not going to like this. You're also not going to like the new cleansing butter that they came out with. Both of these products have a fairly large lavender scent. I believe there's lavender essential oil in both of these products. I know that can be irritating to some, so I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that. As far as I know, it's never really irritated my skin, even though I have pretty sensitive skin. I just personally don't like the smell of lavender. Not my favorite. And with that one pump, I do definitely feel like that was enough for my whole face. I feel like I even need to bring it down my neck. And make no mistake about it, it is definitely an oil. So if you have oily skin, I'm not sure if this is something that you're going to enjoy or like on your skin. I have very dry skin, so I definitely don't mind this, but I'm waiting to see if this is going to kind of sink in a little bit, because even with dry skin, it's not like I just want like oil sitting on my skin. So let's see if this kind of sinks in a little bit. I'm gonna sit here for a couple minutes and see what happens. It does say on the back of the bottle,
pump once into hands.
I definitely agree with the once thing.
And gently massage oil into face, allowing it to absorb before applying makeup.
So it is supposed to absorb into the skin. All right, so I have been sitting here for about 5 minutes and my skin feels very soft. And it definitely feels like I have put something on my skin, but it doesn't feel oily anymore. I feel like the oils have really absorbed. I want to go ahead and just start applying my foundation because I think realistically, I'm really not going to have more than like 5 minutes to give a primer to soak in before I apply foundation. So I do want to see if this primer will work with kind of like the routine that I've been doing. So I'm just going to use my Dior Forever Skin Correct concealer all over my face, which is what I've been loving. And so I want to see if this primer will like play nicely with it since it is an oil base. So I'm just going to use this as I normally would. I'm going to start by applying it to my eye area. I've got my BK Beauty 101 brush. Yep, so far I think that looks good. I was afraid that, I don't know, it was either gonna kind of break up whatever I put on top of it, or if it was gonna ball up, or, you know, just do anything kind of strange. So anyway, so far so good. Let me go ahead and apply this to the rest of my face. I'll just put it around my nose, on this like red part of my cheeks, and then get these darker spots. And whatever leftover I have on my brush, I'm just going to brush it up on my forehead. All right, I think the Dior concealer looks great on my skin. I don't think it actually looks very different from any other time I've applied it with different primers or different moisturizers on my skin. So that's good. I definitely look more radiant for sure. I think you can probably see it here on my cheek area. I definitely see a lot more radiance. That oil is definitely kind of coming through. Again, I have very, very dry skin, so I don't really mind it, but I think if you have normal to oily skin, this is probably not for you, but I'm guessing something called a priming oil is not something an oily skinned person is gonna run out and purchase. I could be wrong, but I definitely wanted to point out that this is definitely a very, very moisturizing product. I'm going to add just a little bit more under my eyes. I feel like they're looking a little darker than usual. My husband and I just started watching The Outsider on HBO. Have you guys been watching that? It's really good. And it's like creepy. It's super, super creepy. I wouldn't call it a horror or even a thriller kind of a show. It's just creepy because it's just very kind of like low key, but it's so, so good. And there's so many great like character actors in this show. But I stayed up late watching it 2 nights in a row. And because it is kind of creepy, I sleep well. I don't have problems sleeping after like a horror movie or anything, but I definitely have very weird dreams. And so I usually wake up a lot earlier than I normally would. So anyway, need a little extra help there. So I think a second layer of that concealer was needed, and I think it was actually very, very helpful. All right, let's move on to this powder. So the Kogan Dough powder, this is the brightening moisture powder. They came out with this last year sometime. I really have completely lost track of time, but this powder is so, so gorgeous. When they sent it to me, you know, pressed powder is not really something that like blows my skirt up. I was like, oh, okay. But when I used it for the first time, I was like, what is this witchcraft? It is so, so beautiful. And I'm not sure if you guys can see, there's like a swirl in there of like a light flesh tone and like this white. And then there's like a pearly finish. Oh, it is so beautiful. So anyway, I'm gonna go in with this powder. Okay, I've got my Sonia G Face Pro brush. It is freshly washed and I had it in my brush guard for a really long time. So I'm just trying to resuscitate it. But I'm gonna go in with this brush, and you can also see that there's a little, it's basically translucent, but there's like a little bit, you can see a little bit of it. I'm gonna brush this out and you will see that it's pretty invisible on my skin. And I really love Kogan Dough powders. Their loose powders are some of my favorite, and this pressed powder is definitely one of my favorites. I hope you guys can see just that really subtle sheen to my skin. It's definitely more subtle than the Lancome loose powder, or even the Guerlain Meteorites. All right, so I don't have any new powders. I'm just gonna go ahead and use my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Unlocked palette, and I'm just gonna kind of mix between the two of those, and I'm using my Refer 22 brush. Now let's try the new NARS blush, and this is in the color Thrill. This is a really, really kind of like bright bubblegum pink. So of course I'm trying to find a clean brush. What's new? Sorry, just gotta wash one off really quickly. All right, I've got my Refer 24 brush here. I'm gonna go into Thrill. Ooh. And this is definitely more of a matte blush, which is not my favorite thing generally, but I think because I have that priming oil down, I have kind of a shimmery setting powder down, it's okay. I feel like I have enough sheen going on the rest of my face that this looks fine. That is so totally like it's windy and it's chilly out and I was just walking quickly and I came inside. I love it. I love how these cool pinks give your cheeks that like winter heat flush, and like really peachy, corally orange kind of blushes really give you that kind of like summertime, like hot in the sun kind of flush. But why do I feel like this cheek is so much darker? I think it's the lighting. So that is the blush. Let's move on to highlight. This is the PYT Beauty highlighter in the shade, I believe, Upgrade. If I remember correctly, is a pretty subtle highlight, which again is fine. I think there's many occasions for a nice subtle highlight. And I'm gonna use my Chikuhodo GSN 4 brush and pick up some product. Let's see. That is not nearly as subtle as I remember it. Yeah, it seemed a lot more subtle when I like swatched it on my hand, but actually on my cheek, it's quite bright. Okay, let me work that in. I'm actually gonna take my powder brush here and kind of blend that in. It's like a borderline too light for my skin tone, or it's just brighter than what I'm used to. Well, in either case, it is very, very blingy. Again, this is the highlighter in shade Upgrade. Wow, that is quite nice. And there's no like chunky glitters or anything. It's very, very smooth. I like the kind of elevated satin finish that it has. I have no new eyebrow products, so I'm just using my Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel in Granite. All right, and now onto the Dominique Cosmetics Latte 2 palette. And I have not watched any reviews on this palette. I really wanted to kind of form my own opinion because not only is this a new palette to me, but this is a brand new company to me. I've never purchased anything from Dominique Cosmetics before. So I really wanted to give it, you know, a fair shot. So let me see if I can open up this box. All right, here is the palette, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be kind of just focusing on these 6 shades here. This may become spring, but I'm just really feeling these 6 shades over here. All right, so I'm gonna start with the Café con Leche shade, and I've got the Sonia G Worker 1 brush. I'm just gonna go in and lightly dust this all over. Probably won't even see it. Okay, can't really see that on my lids, but I'm actually gonna go ahead and mix up these 2 colors because both of these shades are a little bit too deep for me. So I'm gonna mix up the Café con Leche and the Cafecito colors together and see if I can get something a little bit lighter than the Cafecito color. Maybe a little too light. Let's see. So I'm using this mirror and I just realized there's like a plastic film on there. Wow. I feel like it's taking a little bit of effort to blend out this Cafecito color, this darker brown color. It looks okay, you know, like it's starting to look a little bit more blown out, but I feel like it's just kind of stuck right here, like I can't really blend it over my lid. All right, let's move on to these shimmery shades. I'm gonna use my Chikuhodo GSN 9 brush. It's like a little flat shader. And I think I'm gonna use these 2. I'm gonna use this kind of towards the inner corner of my eye and then use this kind of towards the outer portion. Let's see how that does. This Frappe color, this one has more micro glitters in it than these 2. So that shade is okay. I thought it was going to be like really, really bright. It kind of seems, I don't know, like kind of like a topper shade. I'm definitely getting a little bit of fallout from those micro glitters. That's, you know, kind of to be expected. Okay, let me go ahead and use the Iced Coffee shade. I'm just gonna use the same brush and sweep that. Oh, that's darker than I thought. And I'm getting a lot of fallout with that shade. Wonder if I just picked up too much. That could be my fault. I'm taking a different Clean Worker 1 brush and I'm going to just brush this over that Iced Coffee shade and just soften it up a little bit. I think I picked up just a little bit too much pigment and didn't tap it off properly. Oh, and as I'm blending this over the Frappe shade, I'm getting a lot of fallout from that Frappe color. All right, there's the Dominique Cosmetics palette on. I don't know how I feel about these shadows. I don't think they actually blend that well into one another. Like, it always looks a little patchy, like where they meet. And I found them just a little bit hard to blend out. The colors are really pretty, but they're just, I don't know, they're just not playing well together. At least not the combination that I picked, which is, I don't know, not too daring or anything. They're just a bunch of different browns. So they're okay. I have a lot of fallout though, and the micro glitter in that, is it the Frappe? Yeah, the Frappe color, that kind of ended up everywhere. I feel like I have it all over my face. I found one in my eyebrow before, so so far not my favorite shadows, but not awful. I definitely have tried worse. All right, I'm just gonna line my eyes, add some mascara, and I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Let's play with these 2 lip glosses. So I'm gonna try them both on. I'm gonna start with Creamer. So these are the 2 lip glosses that came with the Dominique Cosmetics Latte 2 bundle that I purchased. So this is Creamer, this is Java. I'm gonna start with the lighter one. Oh, I like that. It's very, very milky without being too white. It has an interesting sweet kind of smell. I think it's trying to smell like a frappuccino, like a sweet coffee. but it just kind of smells, I don't know, it kind of smells like birthday cake too. So I'm not really sure, but it feels nice on the lips. It's not sticky. There's a thickness, so I feel like it's gonna hang out for a while. That is really nice, and it actually gives my lips like kind of a cooler tone. It looks really nice with this blush actually. All right, and now let's try the Java. Same kind of scent. Oh, nice. I like how it's just a very subtle kind of like brown wash. It's not nearly as dark as it appears in here, which I think is a good thing. I think this is really nice. I'm definitely gonna have to play around with these two, like layering them over lipstick or pairing them with different lip liners, but I kind of like them by themselves too if you just want to go for like a really easy kind of like lip look. All right, and as I'm sitting here talking, I can feel more of that frappe shade just kind of like falling out on my face. I think it's like ending up on my nose now and on my cheeks and everything. So not the biggest fan of that. The colors I think are very pretty. And like I said before, I think, you know, blending took a little bit and I still don't think that it looks great, but it's okay. It's not like I feel like I can't go out in public or anything. And just to recap on the other things that I use, the PYT Beauty Highlight I think is quite lovely. It is definitely brighter than I originally thought when I kind of swatched it on my hand. So I'm impressed with this. And I really like the NARS Blush and Thrill. I think it's such a pretty cool toned pink. Beautiful and really, really appropriate for all of the cooler toned eyeshadow palettes that I'm seeing like appear and pop up, especially for Valentine's Day. I think Valentine's Day really brought out the like pink and lilac lovers in all of us. And I'm seeing a lot of cool toned eyeshadow palettes. And I think this is a great pairing for that. What else? What else? Oh, base. So this primer is very nice. I think, again, if you have oily skin, maybe not for you. And also if you have a sensitivity, whether physical or mental, to lavender oil, the scent, the actual essential oil, there is definitely lavender oil in this primer. So you'd probably want to stay away from it if you don't like that. And then last but definitely not least, oh, the Kogan Dough Brightening Moisture Powder. I'm so, so glad it's back. It just makes my skin look just so pearly and just gives me like that glow that I really, really love. So that is it for this trying new makeup video. Thank you so, so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I'll see you in my next video.